Something seems to be happening in Poland, particularly in Polish politics.
Polish President Andrzej Duda has backtracked on a new law to create a body to probe Russian influence. Under the law, anyone the Commission deemed to be under Moscow's influence could have been banned from public office with no right to appeal. But just days after signing it, Duda is calling for an amendment.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't know if I fully understand. I have an idea which ones are the major political parties and all that, but I am not so well versed, I'm not so informed. If you belong to a country, if you're a resident of that country, if you have associations with that country, then it really helps to understand the mindset of the people, the history of the country, where the country is now, where the country is heading, if you can see the fuller picture, not just cultural things, but also some politics. So I've decided to do a little bit of research, to educate myself. And if you, like me, are a foreigner in this country, or if you have any association with it, maybe you can learn a thing or two along with me. On this episode, we're gonna talk about a foreigner's guide to Polish politics. Now, before we begin, I'm gonna give you guys a very big disclaimer. Look, I'm gonna put it right here, disclaimer. This video is gonna try to be as objective as possible. I don't talk about politics on this channel unless, like today, is with educational purposes. I will not censor anyone unless you're being disrespectful. Keep it clean, and I promise you that your comment will not be deleted and you will not be blocked. Boom! Cześć ludzie! What's up people? Hola! Vigo's dad here. Welcome to another episode. I did my due diligence here. I printed, I researched. To be fair, I could have spent months researching this, but this is not the BBC, okay? This is Vigo's dad YouTube channel. We're gonna try to keep it as simple as possible and as concise as we can. Let's watch the video that I saw initially like around 7 or 8 days ago that got me thinking about making this episode. It's from Euronews YouTube channel.
I apeluję do całego parlamentu o jak najszybsze uchwalenie.
Critics, including some in Washington and Brussels, fear the law as it stands could be used against political opposition, but the Polish government claims it aims to increase public transparency and prevent Russian influence on national security.
I know that President Duda belongs to the Peace Party, or the Law and Justice, or in Polish, Prawo I Sprawiedliwość. I know there are other parties, such as Lewica, such as Konfederacja, such as Koalicja, but to be fair, those are just names that sometimes I listen, here, like in the sphere. Once again, I don't know, and maybe many of you guys don't either, so we're gonna get to this right now. According to the cheat sheet that I have right here, the government of Poland takes on the form of a unitary parliamentary representative democratic republic, whereby the president is the head of state and the prime minister is the head of the government. However, its form of government has also been identified as semi-presidential. A semi-presidential republic, or a dual executive republic, is a republic in which the president exists alongside a prime minister and a cabinet, with the latter two being responsible to the legislature of the state. It differs from a parliamentary republic in that it has a popularly elected head of state, and it also varies from the presidential system in that the cabinet, although named by the president, is responsible to the legislature, which may force the cabinet to resign through a motion of no confidence. So maybe you're asking, like I myself asked, what is the difference between the president and the prime minister? So the Polish president has the power to ratify and revoke international agreements, nominates and recall ambassadors, and formally accepts the accreditations of representatives of other states. So basically, he deals, I would assume, among other things, with international affairs. The president of the Council of Ministers, colloquially referred to as the prime minister, is the head of the cabinet and the head of the government of Poland. So now we know what the Polish president does. We know what the Polish prime minister does. According to the constitution, the president nominates and appoints the prime minister, who will then propose the composition of the cabinet. The prime minister must submit a program outlining the government's agenda to the Sejm, requiring a vote of confidence. In Poland, the Sejm is the lower house of parliament. Executive power is exercised within the framework of a multi-party system by the president and the government, which consists by the Council of Ministers led by the Prime Minister. Its members are typically chosen from the majority party or coalition in the lower house of parliament. Remember, the Sejm? We have to talk about the legislative power. Legislative power is vested in the two chambers of parliament, Sejm and Senate. remember, Sejm is the lower house, Senate is the upper house. Members of Sejm are elected by proportional representation, with the provision that non-ethnic minority parties must gain at least 5% of the national vote to enter the lower house. Something important that we should mention when we talk about the lower house and the upper house is that in the case of Sejm, or the lower house, it has 460 members elected by a 4-year term by proportional representation in a multi-seat constituencies using the Ort method, or also called the Jefferson method, for example, like the Dominican Republic. When we talk about the Senate, it should be said that it has 100 members elected for a 4-year term under the single member, one round, first past the post voting method, for whatever that means. When sitting in joint session, the Sejm and the Senate go on to form the National Assembly. The political system is defined by the Polish Constitution, and it guarantees a wide range of individual freedoms. Now, you're probably asking, where is the judicial branch? Well, to be honest, at least from my research, it seems to be not that influential when it comes to Polish politics. Basically, together with the tribunals, courts form part of the judiciary in Poland. Among the bodies that administer the justice system, we have the Supreme Court, the Common Courts, administrative courts, and military courts. Is it becoming a little clearer for you guys, or are you just more confused? Now, this is an interesting part now, because we're going to talk about the elections in Poland. Poland has a multi-party political system. On the national level, they elect the president and legislature. There are also local elections, referendums, and the elections to the European Parliament. Poland has a long history of public elections dating back several centuries, beginning with the elections to the Sejm in Łęczyca, also known as the first Sejm, in 1182. From 1573 all the way till 1795, the year where the third partition of Poland began, the state system of elective monarchy in Poland also required the royal election of monarchs during the same proceedings. The first modern and free elections in the 20th century Poland were held in 1919. 2 months after the country regained independence in 1918, after over a century partition and occupation by foreign powers. After the Second World War, Poland fell under the sphere influence of the Soviet Union as a satellite state, and basically from 1945 all the way till 1989, there were elections, but were they free? The first free elections since World War II happened in the year 1989, marking the fall of communism. Here I have a graph of the different political parties in Poland. I'm going to put this image on the screen for you guys, and there's another image right here. It's also going to go up on the screen for you guys, that I think states which ones are the, I guess, biggest political parties in Poland, or the most populous ones. There are several parties, and of course these numbers and their popularity and percentages may vary week to week. Of course, also, if I am wrong, let me know, write it down. You know, I am perfectly fine with you guys correcting me. Polish politics are very complex, and when you don't come from this country, it takes a bit to get your head around it. Now that you know which ones are the parties in Poland, later this year, in 2023, parliamentary elections will be held in Poland, once again, to elect members of the Sejm and the Senate. In 2019, the governing party, PiS, won with a majority in the Sejm, although it didn't hold the majority on the Senate. If they win once again, it will be an unprecedented third time, which opens up a very interesting political landscape. You're probably wondering, when am I going to cover the news that I presented at the beginning of this video? You know, the one that prompted me to actually want to research more about Polish politics. And my answer is that I won't cover that, because it's a divisive topic. This channel is a channel meant for inclusiveness. You have a right, I have a right, I for sure have an opinion. We have a right to an opinion, and basically you can choose to be on one side or you can choose to be on another side. There are two sides here, right? I know that recently there was a very big manifestation of people, like 500,000 Poles took the streets to protest, and I'm sure there are many that are also in favor of the government stance on this. And You know, we all have a right. We live, because I live in this country too, in a free country where you can choose and you have a right to speak. So yeah, I just literally wanted to inform myself a little bit more when it comes to Polish politics. Boom! That's all, guys. That's the end of the episode. I hope you liked it. Please share this video with a friend, a family member, someone that, you know, like me, maybe wants to understand a little bit better what is happening in Polish politics. You know, this is an important year in Poland. You know, we have elections, and I think we can all benefit from being more up to date with our information. Once again, leave a comment, be respectful, of course, and I'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye-bye.